Hi people, welcome back to my YouTube. It is your girl Honey. Welcome back people, welcome back. So look people, we gotta just keep it real today. We are continuing on with the Saturn, but I am gonna pack it with lots of information regarding Saturn transit the second house, Saturn natally in the second house, and Saturn return. So make sure you guys are watching it all the way through. Okay people, let's just talk a little bit about what is Saturn. You know, Saturn is our rules, regulations, restrictions, responsibilities, self-limitations and fears. Saturn can also represent someone who has some sort of authority within our lives, and also the authority that we look at ourselves as having. When you think about the second house is the original house associated with Taurus. Taurus' ruler is Venus. And the second house is our self-esteem, value, worth, our possessions, our items, our spending habits. And we can also link it to family's legacy. It could be like father's legacy, but it kind of depends. Sometimes when Moon is in here or Venus, we can see it can relate to mum. Whenever I see Saturn placed in this person's second house, I know that this person is dealing with a lot when it comes to finances, okay? Finances. Growing up in your environment, your family may have never really had a lot of money. They may have had to scrimp and save and really work hard. Like in the UK, I'm not sure about how things are across the world, but in the UK we've got something called a pension scheme. So if you get a really good job, like a stable job where you're getting paid weekly or monthly or whatever, and it could be quite a low income job, right? But you stay there and you work there for years and years and years, you're likely to get a decent-ish amount of money when it comes to your pension. Your pension is the money that you receive when you turn, I think it's 65, once you retire. And it all depends on how much you're putting into your pension will determine how much you get out of it at the end, right? Whenever I think about the long-term goals, I think about having parents that care about finances in the future, where they are investing or saving their money right now. Saturn in the second house person may have grown up with parents who were very tight, you know, who may have chosen to put money into the things that they feel is our long-term goals. So if they have purchased a home, their mortgage could be, you know, £1,000, £2,000 a month, whatever it might be. But that child may not receive the things that they want to have. Your wants as a child could have been the latest Barbie doll, you know, the latest Action Man, these toys, these things that just look good on telly that your friends might have. Saturn being there, Saturn restricts you from having those things. Again, Saturn is your rules, regulations, restrictions, responsibilities, self-limitations, fears, authoritative figures, and also the authority within you. So having your Saturn in this house, we do see you growing up in an environment where you may have felt like, damn, you know, why can't my parents just buy me what I want? Why are they just constantly saving or putting money away or just scrimping? We just see a very struggled background. And that really shapes your future a lot as you grow older, because the things with Saturn, I know for a lot of people, oh, it's just such a horrible planet, and oh my God, I hate my Saturn. Listen, I'm Saturn Zom, okay? Saturn's dominant. I love my Saturn now. I've had to learn to really like Saturn. And I've learned to like Saturn because although whatever house Saturn's placed in, things manifest slowly. Like it's slow, but once you get there, it's such a great reward. And I always say Saturn is there to build a lot of character, you know, and to teach you about value. And that's the thing, because you have not always had the things that you wanted in your life, with Saturn being placed here, you may have some self-esteem issues surrounding that. Like this is the house of your possessions, your things. This can be like a car. A car is a possession. Your clothing is your possession. It's what makes you feel a little bit secure. So if you don't have these things, and these are material things because this is the second house, it can represent things that are material to you. If you don't have these things that you want, that you desire so badly, to you it kind of feels like, well, I'm not desirable. I'm not as attractive as what I initially thought I could have been or I could be. Or people are picking on me and making me feel bad for just looking how I do or not having the things that I have. When Saturn's placed here, it really has a major effect on the self-esteem of these people. You know, like those parents who are like, you know, you'll grow into it, don't worry. And everything that you wear it's like, I have to wear it for a long period of time. I haven't got the latest Nike trainers. I don't have the newest Game Boy. But people who have Saturn in their second house, they have parents who are constantly restricting their ability just to have these things. And it really puts a strain on their self-esteem. So these people grow up and they start to feel very insecure about not having. Now, it's not just the possessions and the items that they fear not having, but also feeling insecure in themselves, not being good enough. And this can be really detrimental to their development in the world, because you know, like society teaches us, oh, we should go to university, we should have degrees and qualifications, and we should go and apply for a graduate job and then go and be paid like a lot less than what we feel we are deserving of. And then we're supposed to go out there, get a better job, and buy a house and be on a mortgage for the next 30, 40, whatever how many years it might be. These people are living their lives in constant fear that they're not going to have anything. Not going to have a nice house, not going to have a decent job, but also, can I even get that job? Can I even afford that house? There's just always this, I'm worried about not having. And we'll take yourself back to being 1 year old, if you can remember, or if you hear a story from someone else, 13 years old, 25 years old, 37 years old. Those are ages that are associated with that second house. And what we find is during those years, if you have Saturn in the second house, there would be something financially detriment that could have happened to you. You know, there could have been some sort of loss. Maybe at 1 year old or 13 years old, your parent could have lost their job. There could have been a lot more scrimping and saving that had to happen within the household. Or maybe you might have lost a job. Maybe you became unemployed and now you had less money to handle, which made you feel very insecure and could also affect your self-esteem. When it comes to moving forward, there's a fear of how you move forward through fear of that happening again. So we see Saturn creating a lot of traumas in here that can contribute to your development in the world. So I know everyone's question is, am I going to be rich? Am I going to be poor for the rest of my life? It's actually not a bad placement to have. It's a challenging placement, but it's not bad. I do feel like, remember I was saying to you, and especially those of you who have Jupiter conjunct Saturn or Jupiter and Saturn in the same second house, you guys and Saturn being in here, you guys are very much likely to experience wealth over time. But this is the thing, it's not going to be an overnight thing. It's not going to be overnight. It will be as you grow and get older. Because the more that you are learning with your Saturn and working with Saturn, you're going to become a lot more interested in how you can keep your money, how you can put your money in a safe place, how you can put your money into things that are going to slowly grow your money. Sometimes when Saturn is placed in here, we do find there are people out there who may feel very overworked, that they're working way too hard for the small things that they have. You know, working in a BS company, and this company is not able to pay you correctly, pay you on time. You may also find that people constantly owe you money because Saturn is placed in here. So you are looked at as an authority of money, like you have money. So you're going to experience people always asking, oh, can I borrow this from you? Can I have that from you? And you will find yourself always waiting for money. And even if you're going to spend money on something, you're going to buy something, if you want to return that something, it will take you ages to get your money back. Saturn makes you wait when it sits in this house. It's annoying. People that have Saturn here need to really learn to be grateful for the things that you have. You know, I know Saturn in the second house people who have very cluttered homes. They like to pack up their homes with very nice, expensive things, very quality things, you know, expensive things, quality things, but also have an issue with sharing. Have an issue with, you know, letting people kind of use those things or giving those things away. Because the thing is, growing up as a child, you didn't have anything. So now as an adult, you have the means to buy these things, and you're buying them, but you're over storing them. So your house can be very, very cluttered with stuff, and it's about you learning to let go. It's about you learning to give away. And it's about you understanding that these things that you have now don't mean anything. It's about how secure you are in yourself, and you need to get to that stage of accepting who you are, of being happy with what you have. And you don't have to have a lot of stuff. And maybe to you, it's not a lot of stuff, but to other people coming into your space, we feel like, I'm an empath, so when I go into a room, I feel stuff. Even in the house, right, there may not be things visually in my eyes, but behind that door over there, behind that cupboard over there, I know there's stuff in the house because I feel overwhelmed, it's heavy. You guys who live like that have to really learn to declutter and remove and give things away for free. You haven't got to sell everything and collect the money. I mean, you could, but it will be really good for your own karma, you know, to give things away for free. Learn to give. And it's crazy, like, there's no level of money that can make these people feel completely secure in the world. Like, I have clients that always ask me, you know, honey, am I gonna be broke? What's gonna happen to me? And am I gonna have this? And I'm like, even if you were getting paid 500 million every year, you're still gonna be anxious. You're still gonna be worried about taxes, about this or about that, or about losing this. You guys, I don't wanna say get obsessed, but there's just that fear of, oh, but what if? Like, the most amount of money with you guys that you guys have, you're still going to feel insecure. So it's not about the money, it's more about an internal issue that you guys have. Now, one thing I found as well when Saturn sits here is that this is the house of, you know, family's legacy, right? And we can see that, you know, your parents, your grandparents may have set something up for you. There may be property, there may be land, there may be something in terms of you being given something. I more so look at inheritances as like the 8th house, but it could literally, you could be given something that turns into a monthly income or your own income. These are not the people who are going to gamble their lives away. They are more, they tend to think a little bit more in terms of where they're putting their money. And I do find Saturn being here can go 2 different ways, right? You can find someone who is so afraid of having money that they choose not to have any money. They choose not to put the money anywhere to save it or even to work or anything. I just don't want to have anything. I'm afraid of what money can do to me. I'm afraid of the kind of person that I could become if I have money. I'm not good with it, I can't keep it, I don't want it, whatever. But there are a lot of people out there who obviously want to have money, but there's again just the fear. And those grandparents or parents or whatever could give them something, you know, that turns into a long-term income. You know, something to do, some sort of equity, something to do with an income. So these people do end up in the long term being financially okay because they've been helped previously. Grandparents, parents, whoever it might have been, someone may give them something that then turn into a long-term goal. So things like property, things that you are guaranteed, like a investment, right? You're guaranteed a return on your investment. These people do very, very well. Things that take quite a long time. You could have bought a house 10 years ago and you know, you're ready to sell now and you realize, oh my God, you know, the value on your house has gone up by 50 grand, for example. That's how these people like to think ahead and make money. And that's why in the long term, they end up being financially okay. But even if they are financially okay, they're still going to have insecurities within themselves. In terms of Saturn return in the 2nd house is not the most nicest place. Saturn takes about 29 years or so for it to return back to its natal point in your birth chart. You could have a very comfortable couple of years, you know, in your working, you might get paid very well, you might have some very good investment, some very good benefits, you might be very comfortable with where you're working. But let me tell you, when Saturn goes into this 2nd house, honey, there are changes that are going to be made financially. And usually we see somebody who goes through a decrease, okay, who may get paid a lot less, who may be made redundant, who may even feel like, you know what, I'm so overworked, too much customers, there's too much workload, I just want a break. I want to leave this place because I feel so overworked and exhausted. I have no time for my pleasures, for the things that I love to do. I've got no time. So we see these people ending up leaving their job. It can be a thing where you either get the boot, you get sacked, or you leave your job. So if you leave a job, there can be the issue of you then finding work, then finding a job that pays even more than that. We see people go through unemployment for a long time while Saturn's going through this house, you know? When you go through your Saturn return and feeling very insecure, some people end up going on benefits, you know, losing your possessions, no more car note, losing your car, going on food stamps, the same thing as benefits in the UK sort of thing. You now feeling very embarrassed, feeling very insecure that my life has completely changed now because I don't have the same amount of money that I had before. I can't afford to have a nice lifestyle. It can go two separate ways here. You might be completely overworked, you may stay in your employment, or you may be unemployed for whatever reason, but it makes you start to really reflect on your life, on your self-esteem, on your insecurities. And what you've got to do now is you've got to really take some responsibility. During our Saturn return, it's a time of adulting. It's time to really look at your situation and take it on board. Why am I unemployed right now? Why am I in this job that I don't like? Let me reflect and look at myself. Let me think, why am I here? What more can I do to get myself out of this job? Do you get what I mean? Now, in terms of the Saturn transit through the second house, Saturn takes about 2.5 years through each individual sign. Now, when Saturn hits 0 degrees, even if your second house starts at 15 degrees Aquarius, the second Saturn is at 0 degrees Aquarius, you're going to feel what Saturn's purpose is already about to approach your second house. So it starts to feel very intense because you know something is happening financially, but you're not entirely sure of what it is. So with Saturn coming into or about to approach or already in there, whatever it might be, with Saturn already being in your second house, we are going to see that there's going to be some issues going on financially. Sometimes we experience the reality of our spending habits when Saturn's transiting through our second house. You may have always had the means to just buy these things that you've always just wanted because it's there, you can afford it. But now Saturn's coming to your second house, you might start to be a little bit more consciously aware because Saturn's there to bring the reality. Do you need that item? Is it going to do anything for you apart from sit in your wardrobe? It's very important that you are utilizing how you are putting your money away, where you are investing your money, looking into high interest bank accounts. You know, this is a good time in terms of your Saturn return. This is a really good time to look into what type of credit cards are going to be best suited to you. Low interest credit cards, putting your money into a high interest savings account and watching that grow, or putting your money into an account that you can't touch for like 5-10 years, but you are constantly putting money away week after week after week, and you will see that grow over time. This might be a time where you might decide that you have a goal that you want to achieve, but you've got to pay a lot of money for this goal. So Saturn's really making you put your money where your mouth is. Do it. A lot of people are worried about this transit, but I look at it like this, right? Saturn is there for you to look at things in black and white. No grey areas, black and white. And you're here to really assess your spending, to really assess your self-worth. What do you deserve? Do you deserve a pay rise? Do you deserve to start a new business and have a better quality of life by being at home most days? Do you deserve to work part-time? It could be anything. But when Saturn is transiting through this house, your whole purpose about this transit is for you to assess that and to start making the steps to get there. Now, a lot of people start to feel very insecure because obviously Saturn brings on the fears of being self-employed, starting your own business, retraining somewhere. But we're all gonna feel very frightened about things that we haven't done before or overcome before, right? But Saturn's saying, look, I got you. It's just about you really working and seeing the end goal, the vision, tunnel vision. Just see it and just literally just go for it. So those of you who have Saturn transiting through, your second house, if you have a goal in mind and you know it's going to be long to do it, because Saturn will make sure that you see yourself all the way through. And let's not forget, Saturn is all about the reward. So he's going to offer you a reward for this hard work that you put in. So please, people, if you guys do have Saturn transit your second house, make sure you are working very, very hard to achieve these goals, to increase your money, because at the end of the day, it's about feeling more secure, whether that be secure with money, secure with assets, with your finances, with your self-esteem. It's going to be a working progress. It is a lifelong progress. Even after your Saturn return is done, that should actually be a lesson in itself, that you should feel secure. But as time goes on, you start to feel insecure again, and then it's about you getting to that stage of just feeling more comfortable with who you are. All right, people, I will see you next time. All the best. Bye bye.